What do I order at Starbucks? Well, usually when I go to Starbucks, I order something different because they have a pretty big selection. But the last time I ordered something to drink at Starbucks, I got a organic lime and ginger drink down in the like refrigerated section. It wasn't like off the menu on the wall, and that was pretty good. And as a fallback, if I just don't really want to try anything new, I always go for like a large iced coffee, and I usually don't get whipped cream on it. So, yeah. What's the one thing in my closet that I can't live without? Um, I would have to say my head wraps. I really like my head wraps and they're really convenient, especially when it gets cold outside. So that's the one thing I couldn't live without. What is my guilty pleasure? I must say that the Gardetto's rye chips, like, I need those in my life really bad. Those are definitely my guilty pleasure. I love those things. They are so good. Guilty pleasure, hands down. My favorite number, I don't really have a favorite number, but if I had to pick a favorite number, I would pick something like 19. I don't know why. What is my number one most favorite song? There's one song, and it's an old song, that when it comes on, I'm just like, yes! It is Robin Thicke's Blurred Lines. I know, right? I love that song, and not so much for the words, but for the bass line. My dad used to play bass, and I'm telling you, that bass line is clean, is crisp, and it is straight up wicked, and I love it. I absolutely love that song. What phrase or quote do I live my life by? I would say I live my life not by a quote in particular, but basically don't give up and don't quit, because everything can go wrong. Just wrong. Just really all this gonna happen at one time. Just don't quit. You don't quit, it's gonna come back around. Like, good is gonna come back around. You might be in like a rough patch, but just don't quit. It's almost irrelevant that it's a rough patch. Like, if I could tell you some of the things that have went on in my life, when I look back on them, you got two things you gotta do. You gotta take from that and look at it positive. Like today, something happened. It wasn't positive. It wasn't negative. It was just how I chose to look at it. I'm looking at it from a positive, and a lot of people would have looked at it from a negative point, and I'm like, I don't have time for negative. There's too much of that going on. So that was what I looked at it as. It's a positive, and this is why. And that has helped me tremendously even today. So it's like, don't quit. Even though it's hard. I'm not saying that it's not hard. I'm saying that it's almost irrelevant. Don't quit. Name the one thing that I want to do or be before I die. I absolutely must be whole before I die. And I know that's something that maybe people don't really talk about, but life happens to us all. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that maybe they have been picked apart just by life. And I want to be whole. The things that bother me or stop me or slow me down, I don't want that. I want to be whole. So that's what I want to be before I die.